What up, everybody? This is Derek Furlow Jr. and welcome to another segment of Sports Life Business, the Ultimate Transition. And I'm here with my guy, Jayson Swain. What's going on, bro?
What's up?
Man,
It's good to be here.
Man, I'm glad that you're here. Man, so a lot of y'all may know him and some of y'all that don't know him. So before we even get into it, introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about you, and we'll dive into the rest of it later on.
My name is Jayson Swain. I do local radio here. Got my own talk show, own business. Played 4 years from 2003 2006 from Huntsville, Alabama. I was that highly rated recruit that came in, played all 4 years. Got myself on the record books and took a little bit to figure out what to do afterwards. And once I figured it out, man, it's been really fun to kind of go through the process and grow and develop and meet new people. It's been a journey, man. It's been fun and looking forward to tomorrow.
So you said something, figuring out what to do afterwards, and that's exactly why we're here today. But before we get into that, when you grew up, did you play just football? Did you play other sports? 'Cause I heard you might have been nice on the basketball court.
Yeah, I played basketball, man. Basketball was my first love. Still is my first love. And that was the goal, was to play basketball and play football just because some of my friends in the neighborhood was playing. So I signed up and was pretty good at it. And then in middle school, I was just bigger and better and faster than everyone, and was dominant even in football and basketball. But once it became time to start thinking about, okay, which one are you going to do to either go to college or try to do something after college, then football became clear that football needed to be the primary sport just because of just the numbers, man. The probability was in my favor to play football. 6'2" wide receivers, you see more and more of those now, but you see 20 times more 6'2" shooting guards.
Yeah.
And so it just became clear that I needed to stick with football, and so I did that and just honed in on trying to be the best receiver that I could be in the country, and was one of the top 5 or 6 receivers in the country after my high school, my senior year.
Wow.
And fortunate enough to come up here to Tennessee, and the rest is history from there.
Wow. So speaking of getting honed in and knowing the probabilities, you clearly had some wise people in your ear, in your corner, that was able to give you the right advice, man. Because I believe growing up, that's half of the battle in life and business is having wise people in your circle.
Yeah, it's important to have the right people around you, man. Well, I was fortunate. I had a high school coach that only cared about my success. Didn't care where I went to school, but just wanted the best for me. He saw that I didn't have both of my mom and my dad, in my life like that. My great uncle was raising me and saw that I had a skill set. I mean, of course, it was going to help him win ball games on Fridays, but he saw that I had a talent that could take care of my family forever. And so he gave me some really good advice, put a lot of time into me, a lot of resources. He's not with us today. He passed away a couple years ago to bone cancer.
Wow.
But it takes good people in your corner.
Yeah, definitely take good people in your corner. So at what point did you hone directly in on football and say, okay, now that I know what I know, I'm going to go ahead and use this to get me where I want to go?
It was my junior year, heading into my senior year in high school. And once I knew what I wanted to do, man, it was every single day doing what I could do to be the best receiver I could be in the country.
Wow.
And my high school coach laid out some checkpoints for me, some goals to obtain during my high school career. I was a sophomore All-American. I was offered by SEC schools as a freshman in high school.
Wow.
But he was like, listen, I want you to be the best in the state this year. I want you to be the best in the region this year. And by the time you're a senior, you should be focusing on trying to be the best in the country. And so that's kind of what I did. I wasn't really competing against, the kids who were 5'3" playing corner against me, or, guys who are never going to play football again. I was competing against receivers from California and Texas that I didn't even see.
Yeah.
Because that's what he kind of planted in my head was, hey, you're competing against people that you don't even see. You got to push yourself beyond what you see right here in Huntsville, Alabama. So I had a coach that really had a vision.
That's incredible right there.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's a big vision right there. And that's definitely something I'm sure you're able to use later on in life as well, because that vision shows. So when it came down to you saying, okay, Coach, he gave me the kind of the blueprint, you put in the work, did your attitude towards the game change? Yeah, what changed to say, okay, this is the attitude, the mindset that I need to have to achieve all those things the coach laid out for me?
It came easy, to be honest, man. You know, when you're like a supreme athlete, that stuff comes easy, and you're not really challenged until you get to college and you're going up against guys who are equally as fast, equally as strong and big. So there was times where I would resist, you know, my coach pushing me. There was times where he wanted me to finish a catch 15, 20 yards up the field, and I'm like, dude, why? I caught it. This is practice. Like, I just scored 3 touchdowns Friday. Like I'm good, man.
Yeah.
But I was 15, 16 years old, man. I didn't understand, but he would push me because he understood that I would need the type of mentality to make it to the next level.
Yeah.
So I resisted. There were some times where, you know, we had some arguments or whatever, but I always understood they had my best interest at heart.
Wow, that's strong right there. So even when the best interest in the heart, you resisted some of those things, but now looking back at it, you see the bigger picture that
yeah, no doubt. I saw it like 30 minutes after we had the argument, man, and he sat me down and kind of told me. Because coaching, teaching, you can tell somebody what to do.
Right.
But coaching is when you tell someone to do and then you explain
why they're doing it.
You're doing what I want you to do.
Yeah.
And so he was a coach, man. He just didn't tell me what to do just to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
He told me what to do and then explained why he told me what he told me. That's coaching.
And that why made it easier for you to go out there and do it.
Oh, yeah, I understood. Yeah, I understood. Yeah.
Makes sense. So finally, you get the layout. You know where you want to go. You know football's going to be your vehicle. Once you got those offers and it came down to you deciding on where you was going to go, how did you end up making that decision? Because I know that got to be you got different things pulling you different directions. How did you end up making that decision that was the best for you and your family?
Oh, for me, man, it was strictly business, not really that emotional at all.
I hope y'all heard that. Repeat that one more time.
That was strictly business, not emotional, because I grew up not really being attached to a team. You know, when you grew up in Alabama, you're either Alabama or Auburn.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't care about either one of them. I didn't have a team growing up because neither of my parents had a team. I didn't have a lot of contact with them. And then my great uncle is 50 years older than me, and so he didn't have a team. He didn't care about sports.
Yeah.
So I was basically a bandwagon fan as a kid, like most kids are now, anyways. Yeah. So I like the teams who are winning.
Yeah.
Tennessee won '98. I like Tennessee. Florida State won. I like Florida State. Florida won '96. I like Florida.
Yeah.
I like whatever team is winning. I want to be on that team.
Yeah.
And so there were several teams I liked, and by the time I came around to understanding I need to be in an offense that fits what I want to do, I narrowed it down to about 15, 20 schools. I had coaches tell me what they were going to do, tell me how they were going to compliment me, do all these things. But I started to do my own research. I created a database, and I did run-pass ratios. So you're going to sit here and tell me that you're going to pass the ball, but the numbers show that you ran the ball 65% of the time.
Yeah.
Well, I just caught you in a lie. And so I did that, and there were a few schools that matched what I wanted, and it didn't matter where they were.
Yeah.
Because family in Chicago, family in, you know, at that time, the Atlantic Coast, Maryland, Virginia, and I traveled a lot with my great uncle, who's a truck driver too. So I traveled. So I wasn't dead set in staying in Alabama. I told myself, if I want to get to here, which is the NFL, I got to be willing to go wherever I need to go to get to where I want to be.
Yes, sir.
And last time I checked, NFL had 32 teams, and they had teams in Seattle. They got teams in California. They got teams in Florida. They got teams in New England. And so I don't want to box myself in to just picking a school based on location. And I told myself I would pick the school best for me wherever it was. And it came down to a few schools at the end. It was Tennessee, obviously. It was Michigan. It was Georgia. And those were the three that kind of stood out. And I took my visits. From there, I just felt comfortable with Tennessee, and the rest was history.
That works.
That's it. So that's how I chose Tennessee.
That's so wise. I hope y'all heard those nuggets. If you didn't, rewind this and listen to that again, because that was all business.
It was a business decision, no doubt.
Absolutely right. So you make it to the University of Tennessee. Once you're there, you have this the end goal is the NFL.
Yeah, like everybody, right?
Right.
Yeah, everybody wants to go to the NFL.
Yeah. So knowing that the end goal was the NFL, what did you have to do to say, hey, all right, this is the end goal. I need to tighten this up to make sure I get there. I made it this far already. What was the next steps for you once you got to Tennessee and knew you was one step away?
Just compete every day. Try to get better every single day. One hurdle that I had was, I had got injured in high school, and that injury followed me to Tennessee, and so I came in already kind of on one leg, from an ankle and knee injury. So I was waiting for that to heal. I wanted to play as true freshman. Didn't want a red shirt because every kid gets caught up in that. It really doesn't matter.
Right.
But every kid gets caught in, I want to go in, I want to play. Because, I never rode the bench. I never watched and sat and watch anybody else play. So you get caught up in this thing of wanting to play early. It's kind of like getting caught up in the fads.
Yeah.
You're always trying to buy the latest clothes, buy the latest shoes, and then one day you realize, like, all that stuff doesn't matter.
Yep.
Same thing with red shirting. You get caught up in this, I'm an All-American. I'm going to come in. I'm going to be a freshman All-American. I'm going to start on a freshman starting. I'm going to be starting the team as a freshman. So you have these big goals. And sitting and watching someone else play is not one of those goals.
Right.
Unless you play quarterback, something like that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to play early, and but I had that hurdle. And so again, when you get to a place like Tennessee, there's All-Americans everywhere. Everyone's All-American. Everyone's the best at
what they did.
And so now it's mental. So now it turns from physical to mental to the game being 90% mental. What's going to separate you not from just your teammates and the people you go against in Tennessee, but if you're going to try to go to the NFL, now you're competing against people in Maine, North Dakota, Cal, Texas, Oklahoma. So now what's going to separate you? What are you doing extra? When you're tired, are you willing to go out and do some more sprints? Are you willing to go run some more routes? Are you willing to go watch a little bit of film? How are you setting yourself up for after football? Are you willing to go do some extra homework? These are things that some guys don't realize until it's too late. Some players realize it early. I didn't realize it as a freshman at all. But I did realize it with plenty enough time to
do something about it.
Do something about it. But we all mature differently. We all grow at different rates. But I got a chance to learn that because I had some good mentors, man. I had some good captains on our football team. I was surrounded. My locker was award number 1. So I was fortunate to have some guys around me that I leaned on. Kevin Burnett was a guy that graduated in 3 years. Second round pick, was a captain. He was right next to me. So every single day I would get little nuggets from him on how to lead, how to go about my business, how to stay out of trouble. Kevin Simon was next to me. I had all these guys that were next to me that I kind of just learned stuff from. Being a receiver coming in, Casey Clausen basically took me under his wing. Talking about a quarterback that's one of the best of all time here, who was a few plays away from playing for a national championship. Played on some great teams, but he immediately took me in under his wing and just kind of showed me the ropes. So I was fortunate to have some great mentors, man. It's great people to learn from.
Wow. And fortunate enough that you was actually open and listening. Because a lot of guys get people around them, great people around them, and they don't even know when to listen.
Well, first of all, you got to humble yourself. You got to ask yourself, like, if you're not where you need to be, who are you to be closed-minded, to not listen to someone that's going to give you some information that's going to help you get there?
Yes, sir.
So pretty ignorant and pretty stupid not to listen to someone who's older, who's more wise than you, who's a little bit smarter than you. Be crazy not to listen, right?
You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right about that. So you get here, you had some great people around you to continue to mentor, help shape you, mold you, to help you get to that end goal. And as you got ready to approach your end goal, how did the outcome turn out for you?
My junior year, we played South Carolina. Steve Spurrier's first year at South Carolina. It was a tough year that year. It was weird. Everything that could have happened wrong happened. We lost the game. I didn't get hurt during the game, but I woke up the next morning. I tried to walk up the steps, and I fell. And I was like, man, this ain't right. Maybe I'm just a little sore. Maybe I get some ice. I'll be all right. And so I go in and I tell the training staff, and we do a MRI. It shows nothing. and they're trying to figure out what's going on. I don't know what's going on, man. You did an MRI. Everything looks stable. I was like, man, I feel this pain.